What is up, YouTube? It's Merkshot here, and welcome to a brand new video. So today I'm bringing you a zombies review type video for the past year. It's something that I wanted to do for the longest time now, and it's finally time to get down to the nitty gritty and take a very close look at World War II zombies. So World War II Nazi zombies was a very, very interesting, I guess, game mode for World War II. It was another traditional zombies third game mode for Call of Duty, but this time they brought the Nazism back into zombies, and it kind of was very reminiscent, especially in the previews and leading up to this mode. It looked like it was going to be very World at War-esque. And, and I do think it delivered. On a large part of it, I do think it created that vibe of a World War II type zombie mode. There was a lot of stuff that it did right, and there was a lot of stuff that it could have done a lot better on. And we'll get into that later on in the video. I want to go ahead and say right now, I'm not going to be talking about the storyline as much because I really wasn't interested in it. It was alright at the very beginning, but as it progressed and through all the different DLC maps, I just lost interest. Not saying that I don't want to see them continue with this storyline, because I really do love the Nazi zombies, just vibe and feel overall for the mode. So I would love to see this happen in, I don't know, whatever Sledgehammer Games' next game is going to be, but I would love to see a continuation of this. So without further ado, let's get right into what World War II zombies did right. The very first thing that World War II Nazi zombies did really well with, in my opinion, is the vibe, the overall atmosphere when you start up a mode and start up a match of Nazi zombies. It really does feel like a World War II shooter, and and that's something different from the multiplayer. The multiplayer obviously was set in the World War II as well, but you get this vibe within World War II Nazi zombies that was very, I would say, spooky and eerie, and it made you want to keep playing to find out exactly what went wrong. How did it end up like this? You wanted to kind of find the backstory about the characters and the villain. It was really, especially the Final Reich. The very first map was the highlight of the World War II Nazi zombies. The DLC maps, like I said earlier, it didn't really do a good job with, I guess, keeping players engaged and entertained. But that first map, the Final Reich, that's my go-to map. Anytime I want to play some zombies within World War II, I automatically boot up the Final Reich. It was such a perfect map. It springboarded this mode into relevancy, or somewhat into relevancy. I know a lot of people kind of forgot about it after launch weekend because they saw it wasn't going to be exactly like Treyarch and their traditional zombie setup, but it was really good job with the atmosphere, the vibe, the spooky vibe. I really do loved it, and throughout all the maps, it maintained that eerie, you don't know what's going to happen next kind of feel, and I really did enjoy that. Next up, I don't think the Sledgehammer Games did a really good job with is that the off-the-wall weapons were really good. Now, this is something that I find that Treyarch does on purpose. I mean, it's an easy fix for Treyarch, but they intend to make it more difficult by giving you, every now and then, shitty off-the-wall weapons. The wall weapons that, if it's a good location, they'll give you a shitty weapon. Well, with Sledgehammer Games' setup and with the way they designed the zombies, is that all the weapons off the wall can be used late round, especially when you pack a punch. So I was very glad to see that they made every weapon useful. The next thing I want to talk about regarding World War II zombies and what it did right is the fact that they throw everything at you, including the kitchen sink, when it comes to zombies and different zombies types. Never before in a Call of Duty zombies game have we ever seen this amount of zombies. I mean, you had like zombies that could run fast. You had zombies that looked like they were something off Borderlands, showing, having flamethrowers and stuff. You had just the prison break zombies, the one that looks like Brutus from Mob of the Dead. You had all these different types of zombie types, and it was really cool trying to kill all of them because they each have their own different characteristics. And even though it really didn't make it extremely difficult, I do think it added a necessary level of difficulty that the game mode needed. So yeah, it was just fun kind of seeing all the different zombie types. Every now and then when you least expect it, you'll see a rare zombie type that pops up and you have to take care of it, otherwise it could derail your whole game. So it was just really fun getting to see all the different types of zombies. Alright, moving on into what World War II Nazi zombies could have done better, and this list is going to be a little bit longer than what it did right, but with what World War II zombies did wrong with is that it didn't do enough long term to keep players engaged with this mode. It should have started off from the very beginning offering up pay rewards or pay bonuses, credit bonuses for logging in to World War II zombies, because, let's face it, unless it's a Treyarch game, zombies are not able to keep up as the third game mode. I honestly think the unoriginality of this mode and how Infinite Ward tries to copy Treyarch, and now Sledgehammer is copying Treyarch. And that's what they're doing. They are copying Treyarch. Now, I do think that Sledgehammer Games did a much better job than their previous attempt in Exo Zombies. It wasn't in Advanced Warfare. Exo Zombies, it is a much better attempt. But let's face it, it's not Treyarch Zombies, and so the fact that everyone thought it was going to be something like Treyarch Zombies was highly disappointed when they saw the end result. That once again, it falls short. And so I guess what they could have done, like I said, is keep more players engaged, offer up more and different ways to play this mode. I mean, I don't know. They're the creative geniuses. I'm sure they could have figured it out. But yeah, I mean, just do something, because really this mode was kind of gone and forgotten about and left to die, much like this whole game, I guess you could say. Another thing is that they didn't increase the level of difficulty for this mode. It was way too easy. I noticed that within my first like 10 minutes of playing this mode. It was just like, okay, once I get set up, turn on the power, figure out how to pack a punch. That's pretty much all there is to it, because now it's on cruise control and I have nothing left to work towards, and it gets really boring very fast. So yeah, I mean, the zombies were way too easy, even though Jug was a more or less armor and not a perk. And you know, I guess Jug was a little harder to maintain. Because every time a zombie hits you, you would obviously lose pieces of that armor, and eventually you'd have to repurchase Jug. Well, the caveat is that you can only purchase Jug so many times before that price keeps going up, and it just surpasses your stockpile of points, and thus you can't afford Jug anymore. So yeah, they could have really done something with that and just make it hard, make it rewarding for the long haul, you know, make it rewarding to keep playing it. Because what I would do, like I said, is once I got set up, you know, I would get bored and go play something else, go back to multiplayer, because, you know, I've already, I guess, satisfied that craving of zombies, because I felt like I've conquered it, mastered it. And that's something that should not be happening on like round 20. It needs to be happening more at like round 50 or something like that. Another aspect of World War II Zombies that it fell short in was the fact that the wonder weapons and the weapons in general were very lackluster. Pack-a-Punch was not very Pack-a-Punch-esque. It was very more so, I get an upgraded weapon, but not much has changed. They didn't give enough, I would say, different variations of wonder weapons. There was no wonder weapon, you know, or Pack-a-Punch weapon that really wowed me. None of the weapons really did that. So even though they were good to use, there was nothing exotic about them. When I Pack-a-Punched, it didn't give me any crazy ability that it was just cool to use. You know, they didn't capitalize on a nice wonder weapon that makes it fun to use, that you could either build or get it out of the box. You know, things like this increase the longevity, you know, and it goes back into that keeping you engaged constantly in that mode. They didn't do any of this. So the fact that they failed in the wonder weapon department, they failed in the Pack-a-Punch department, because they even put the same camo. They even put that same chrome-esque looking camo on that weapon, that it was what, silver and metallic looking. Yeah, that camo looked ugly, and they didn't even change it in the DLC. It was the same one throughout all the DLC, which is pretty lazy if you ask me. I mean, they could have done a better job with at least changing the camo to make it feel like a different experience because you're on a different map, but that's a side point, not really a big deal. But yeah, so no wonder weapons that were really worth using, no Pack-a-Punch weapons that really had a unique identity. All around, the weapons could have been much better. So to sum it up, I've played a lot of World War II Nazi Zombies throughout this past year, and I found myself playing it for a bit to only stop and go play something else. I would rate this mode a solid 6 out of 10. It doesn't blow you away by any means, but it provides enough gameplay for when you want to get something extra, like some extra credits for multiplayer, or just to escape from multiplayer, period. As it stands right now, I would say that this is my second favorite Endless Wave mode within Call of Duty, with obviously Treyarch's Zombies being number 1. I would love to see a continuation of this story and mode in Sledgehammer's next game. Don't know what it's going to be, but hopefully they bring back Nazi Zombies. I just hope they put a little bit more time into details that will keep this game mode alive longer, more than just the first couple of weeks. World War II Nazi Zombies failed to live up to the hype in many regards, but it can return much better for it the next time. So there you go, guys. That's my take on World War II Zombies. What do you think about this mode? Did you like it? Did you even really play it? Did you forget about it? Let me all know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.